Hi, my name is Mads. I use they, them pronouns, and in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about common problems with stoves and how you can fix them. So really the most common reason why a stove isn't working is probably because it's dirty. So if the flame just isn't very good or the fuel's not running through, the first thing you should do is just take it apart and clean it. Which you can see in another video. So that's really the most important thing. You can also, before you take the whole thing apart, you can just do some shaking like this. You can hear the needle moving, and that might be able to dislodge enough of the grime that's in the jet to allow the fuel to flow out again. So shaking, and then if that still doesn't work, you can take it apart and clean it. Another common thing is just that things are loose. So if this thing is loose, then it won't work too well, or if any of the burner plates up here are loose, that it won't work too well. So you can just tighten up this screw if it's loose, and that should help too. So that's the main thing with stoves. The other thing that can have problems is the pump, and this kind of has some more moving parts and things that can be wrong with it. So I'm just going to go through the different things and how to take it apart. Okay, so this is the pump assembly, and the only thing that you need to be able to take it apart is this stove multi-tool, which should be with all the stoves. So a really common problem is just that this filter will get really dirty. So if you see that it's really gray or black and something is not working with the stove or the fuel's not coming through, you can just take a look at that and see if it's looking really dirty. And if it is, all you have to do is just pull it out and replace it with another one, and it just goes in this little hole right here. Another thing that can be problematic is the pump cup. So I'll show you now how to take that out. So first you're going to pull up the plunger until you see the text that says open here. And you're just going to want to make sure that's lined up, and then twist that red part until it clicks. And then you should just be able to pull the whole plunger out, and that's the pump cup. So this is the pump cup. This one's actually looking a little dry, so we can lube it up. This is pump cup oil, which should be in every repair kit, so you can just kind of put a little bit on there and spread it around with your finger. And that's a pretty common problem. So that's out. The next most common thing is that this check valve isn't working. So this is the mechanism that pressurizes the fuel bottle. So you can check it by, again, using your little tool. So you'll just put the end of that little tool into the groove, twist, and the check valve should come out. And you can look if this ball is looking deteriorated, you can change it out. You can also lube this a little bit. But the next possible problem is that there's something wrong with the valve here. So you might just be able to replace it and fix it, or just find out if it's broken. And to do that, use the same tool. So you'll just use the mouth kind of part of that tool, loosen that bottom part, and you'll have to go back and forth between twisting the bottom part of the assembly and then the top part with the red bit, bottom, top, back and forth until you get it off. So you can just kind of visually inspect and see if things are looking okay. There is an O-ring right here, that little black rubber piece. So if that's looking deteriorated, you can replace it. Then you can also just check, there's one last thing that you can kind of take apart, which is this. So this is the fuel tube bushing, and you'll just use the same tool, just the edge of it. You'll put it in that little groove and just twist, and you'll see there's a rounded corner, so you'll want to twist so that that is able to move. And then you'll just take it out. There's an O-ring in there, so you can take it out, check this one looks fine. Put some lube on it if it looks dry. And then just replace it. So now I'm going to put my pump back together, starting with the control valve assembly. Again, just going back and forth between the bottom part and the top part until it's on there all the way. And this, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to like crank down on it. It can just be hand tight. And if you want to tighten it up at the end, you can use the tool. Then I'll go ahead and put the fuel tube bushing back in. Same way, just use the edge of that tool and be mindful of that rounded corner so that you're able to twist it back into place. Then I'm going to put the plunger back, the check valve back. And so for this, you'll just put it in, same end of the tool, twist it till it stays. Then I'll put my filter back, just stick it in that hole. Now I'll put my plunger back. In this part, you have to line that part up with the skinny part of the plunger so that you can squeeze that loose part together and stick it into the rest of the pump at the same time, which is sometimes a little tricky. So I'm going to do that, and then once it's in, just twist it so that it clicks and place. And then your pump is back together and hopefully working better. So yeah, that's how you disassemble and do maintenance on the pump and put it back together.